Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, hit those subscribe and follow buttons and ring those notifications. Not only does it help us out, but you'll know exactly when we have another one brewing. This week's movie is going to be Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. What'd you think?
Cockpit, the animated series, was okay.
Honestly, I had never even heard of this movie before you... Whose pick was this?
I think it may have been mine. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure I threw it out as a wild card.
I had never even heard of this movie before you put this on the list, Brady, but man, this is a unique film. That's what I'll start out with. This is unique.
Okay, yeah, unique for sure. Like, we discussed it a little bit beforehand. Like, I, too, am conflicted about this movie because, like, for the first 30 minutes, I was kind of on board. I was like, all right, there's a vision. I get all the references. Kind of got some balls. All right, where are we going? And then the back half of the movie just like, I don't fucking know.
See, for me, the first part of the movie, I'm walking into this knowing Jude Law is in it, Gwyneth Paltrow is in it, and Angelina Jolie is in it. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? And then once things get moving along, my opinion changes a little bit, but man, it's a ride.
I do enjoy the fact that all three of us, in different capacities, we're just all at one point John Travolta just looking around the room.
Yeah, I don't think that you can't not do that in this movie. When you watch it, you just have a moment somewhere throughout where you just go, what the fuck is happening and why? And then you're treated to one of those amazing moments. It's like the movie almost knows. They give you like 15, 20 minutes of just visuals and you go, I guess. And then suddenly they're like, oh, don't worry. We got a 7.5 minute exposition dump coming your way.
You are absolutely right. I was getting absolutely frustrated with the movie because they would go out of their way to travel somewhere else in the world, whatever fantastic place they go to. And then they just fucking put the brakes on. It's like, okay, here's the plan. I'm like, no, I don't fucking care.
More cockpit.
So this movie was the creative baby of Kerry Conran, who is the writer, director, and basically the guy responsible for everything that this movie is. Mm. And he is probably most well known for really just this. He's done really nothing before or since.
Which I don't blame him for never doing anything again, because the more I read after watching this movie, it's like, this guy got fucking shanghaied by the production company. I was just like, damn, dude. Like, he made the movie twice. Apparently, he made the whole movie in animatics and stuff. So, like, everything he needed was tightened on a animated storyboard. Presented it, and they're like, okay, we'll make the movie. And then they just blamed the bombing on him because there's, like, this missing $50 million in the budget or something like that.
Yeah, evidently he walked in and was like, here's the movie I want to make. It's a $3 million movie. And they were like, yes, but make it $70 million worth.
I guess. It was like, oh, yes, we'll give you $20 million and that booby chick from Hackers. How do you feel?
Sold.
You know what $70 million could do? Buy a really expensive green screen, and we're going to use it the whole fucking time.
Man. Yeah, let's get that out of the way. This whole movie, unfortunately, looks like a really bad Instagram filter. Fuck, man. I was having a real hard time because, as you guys know, like, my eyesight's pretty bad as it is, and I just recently got glasses. So to see this movie and it looks just like not wearing glasses, I was like, God damn it.
It's like somebody dipped the cameras in a puddle of mud because everything is so blurry.
I feel like all the darks are darkened and all the lights are lightened. So you get this fucking fuzzy, blurry contrast that just hurts your eyes after a while because when you're watching a movie and they give you a set piece, you're like, okay, there's the big building in the back that means something. Or, for instance, the helicarrier that appears later. It's literally so surrounded by whited out, shining clouds that whenever you do see it, it's so muddled that you go, I guess.
It's super rough because the movie is like, hey, look at this extravagant location. Isn't this awesome? And after squinting really hard, I'm just like, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think it was just how the movie was processed, because I remember reading that the movie was processed in black and white first, which I feel like it should just stayed. Like, as a black and white movie, I was like, fine, whatever. It'd be like an old serial. Mm-hmm. But then it was processed again in color, and then it was just kind of combined, and we get this. And it just looks like Vaseline was smeared all over the lens.
Ooh, it's like Johnny Depp's fucking eye makeup.
It's not sepia tone, but it's like borderline on. It's weird and blurry.
My biggest complaint is the depth. There's no fucking depth. When you see something
good point.
Isn't animated. Okay, so whenever there is a scene of full CG, of course there appears to be depth because everything looks proper. But whenever there is a human element on the screen, you can see that it's just fucking flat and it looks awful.
Yeah, I was having a real hard time, especially in the beginning when like you got Goop Paltrow just like running around the street with these giant robots behind her, and it's just like, yeah, she's not there.
No, and we mentioned the green screen a little bit earlier. This holds the distinction of being, from what I read at least, the first movie ever shot entirely in green screen.
Marvel's got to give them the tip of the cap for it, though.
Yeah, so this movie set history, you know?
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It's something.
I mean, like, it's just one of those things where, like, I get it, but, like, the final product is just so muddled in its own muddledness.
Well, especially whenever Sin City came out not too long after this and was fucking amazing.
Oh, man, do you feel like Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez saw this and was like, okay, that's a pretty good idea. Let's put some feet in it. And then they got Sin City.
Oh, 100%. You got to fucking green screen and kill people with your mitts.
It's actually kind of tough to just be like, oh, here's the premise, and then let's talk about the rest of the movie, because the movie goes out of its way to add more movie as the movie goes along.
Honestly, I'm kind of for it. Like, every little, like, hoop that it jumped through, I was like, all right, let's see where this is going.
But there were times where I was just like, why are they totally forgetting about that important thing that happened 3 minutes ago? But it does come back, but I'm just like, I feel like a whole, like, day has passed before we, like, got around to it again.
So you're saying, how did they forget shit that just happened? They go to Shangri-La, spoilers, and they get that staff that's supposed to lead him to his island. And then the dude doesn't even use the fucking staff and gets there all on his own. So...
Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't even notice that. Oh, yeah, you're right. I never even noticed that. I was so bent out of shape on something else that didn't even compute.
And I don't remember that staff at all.
And that was Sky Captain and the staff that did matter.
Cockpit, the movie. It's got more cockpit than fucking Top Gun. And it's animated like Batman the Animated Series meets Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Well, you say Top Gun, but like New York City turned into the fucking danger zone. You got Hindenburg III cruising into New York with some scientist on it, and he's all sketched because he thinks someone's going to kill him. Unfortunately, somebody kills him. They showed it in a way where like I could not make fun of it. Like, unfortunately, because like he's on the dirigible and he's like, oh man, I'm all sus. Somebody's going to kill me. And then the guy who gets the note saying like, hey, please help me, somebody's following me, he turned around and the guy's just not there. So my first assumption was he jumped. And I was just like, ooh. I would laugh my ass off if like when he turned around and saw him gone, his pursuer just like fucking bolts out the window two after him.
You can't get away from me.
Yeah, at this point in the movie, I'm just like, all right, what are we doing here? What even is all this? This is, you said New York City, but this is like New York City in like the late 1930s, I've surmised.
Yeah, I had a little bit of issue with that because like I don't mind alternate history movies. I actually like them quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But there's just some shit like clearly was completely missed in the script department because they kept referring to World War One. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, were they expecting another one already? Like, he's like, it's just around the corner, buddy.
Well, like, when was World War II actually called World War II?
1941.
No. That's when the U.S. entered World War II.
Was it maybe 39 or 38?
When did Hitler invade? I should know this.
But yeah, it was like this weird thing where like all this German shit's happening, and there's just like no allusion to like what's around the corner. So you kind of get the feeling like, okay, all right, got some Nazi shit churning up we're about to see. All right, we'll keep going. All right.
You know Nazis are involved when you have scientists with foggy glasses spilling beans about things and napkin blueprints.
But then he just goes missing from the fucking Hindenburg, and the guy that has the note, he's just like, no ticket. And
there are a lot of allusions to Indiana Jones in this movie, aren't there?
Man, they don't even try to hide it. They're straight up ripping whole scenes out of the trilogy.
Yeah, there's something stolen from each one of them, at least each one of the real ones. And honestly, I'm for it. I was delighted every single time I saw it.
I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't just go ahead and bleh out all the little characters here. We have Pretty Perky, old Polly Perkins. She is a reporter for the Daily Bugle, of course, and she's trying to get pictures of that daggone spider captain of the sky. We have, of course, the aforementioned Spider Captain of the Sky, played by Jude Law, and we get to see him here in just a moment whenever they have to call for him to fight the squadron of Iron Giants. And bro, he shows up with his shirt pulled up over his nose like he's hiding from a fart.
He's either hiding from it or just absolutely stewing in whatever he had in that cockpit. The movie actually kind of happens abruptly. So like we mentioned the New York stuff, we mentioned Goop just like running around taking pictures of stuff. So I guess she's friends with another scientist who feels like he's next to go missing, and they meet in a theater somewhere. And he's all sussy in front of Wizard of Oz. And I know earlier that we were really critical on how this movie looks, but if anything is the last nail in the coffin, this movie from 1932 or 33, while it's playing in the background, looks fucking 100 times better than the two people talking in the foreground, and I was embarrassed.
Well, it's because it's in focus.
Yes.
That's a good point.
It's not fuzzy and grainy. It's in black and white, but it's in high fidelity.
Oh, maybe that's why the director never did anything after this, because he wanted that movie blurry, but when the Munchkins took him out.
Oh, R.I.P.
You didn't pay your dues to the lollipop yelled bitch.
Ah.
The bitch.
So this doctor that's about to die, he looks basically like Mitch McConnell.
He's got that German accent, but clearly from Kentucky.
They're one and the same anymore, aren't they?
Oof. If you're not a part of like the main cast with your name right on the poster, you're just like a generic person. Like this guy is just generic scientist. He just looks like science, and he kind of doesn't really add anything to the movie, unfortunately. He's just like basically like a human MacGuffin.
There's a lot of human MacGuffins in this.
Yes. I had to throw that out there because it seems like all these people did was just use other people.
What are we doing this for? To save Giovanni Ribisi. What are we doing this for? To save Dr. Scientist. What are we doing this for? To save Angelina Jolie. Fuck.
I guess. But we get some information from him. Basically, you know, he was a part of Unit 11 or whatever, some crazy Nazi science fiction kind of thing, experiments and stuff led by Dr. Totenkopf, who is another, like he's the guy that we end up, you know, wanting to seek through this whole movie.
Yeah, he's totally not the guy who's from Nazi Zombies or anything. Just saying.
100%. Took that note. I was like, oh shit, we got Nazi zombies up in this bitch.
And it kind of turns that way. Not zombies, just like a flick of the switch. Like she runs out of the theater and it just the fucking Luftwaffe just fucking darkening out the sky. I'm just like, what the fuck is that? And there's just like dozens and dozens of Iron Giants just flying around.
The goddamn Sentinels from X-Men come crashing down and they're like, mutants comply.
I wrote down Iron Giants and Megazords. So
ooh.
Anything in that general capacity, yeah, you're on point.
I totally thought it was just like some fleet of Nazi Decepticons, and like the other half of the movie would just be like this transatlantic Optimus Prime, just be like, Autobots, roll out!
They're more than meets the eye.
But, okay, you've got my interest with Nazi Decepticons, because what are they like goose stepping? What is their goal? Like, who are they eradicating?
Dude,
because they attack a generator.
I have no fucking clue. They do start goose stepping down the road and everybody's getting stomped on and Goop is just running around being Goop. I just don't know what the agenda was at that point. Like, there was just nothing there.
Okay, I want to talk about this because it makes no sense. Number one, these are, what would you say, probably 100 feet tall?
Yeah.
All right, these are big fucking robots, and they have laser eyes, and they're pretty much indestructible, and they're blowing holes in the city to melt a generator. And they throw up the fucking bat signal, and Fart Walked and Jude Law comes zooming in, and he bullseyes a womp rat, and all the fucking robots die. And I went, what the fuck just happened? Because there is literally zero reason all these things fucking die. He shoots one in the back of the knee, and then like 6 are dead. It just pulls away, and there's like 6 fucking dead. And he's like, I did it! Ha ha!
Well, they all just started like piling up on top of the one that he got in the knee. So, and I guess they didn't like program the capacity to stand back up.
Oh, they're just all mechanical turtles.
Yeah.
Once they're down, they can't get back up.
And then at one point, he does do this crafty little thing where he shoots, like, I don't know if the word would be a rope or a chain or something that stretches across two buildings, and it's just a tripwire.
Yeah, it's a grappling hook, and the missus was just like, wait, he has a grappling hook? And I had to turn and look at her, I was like, that's what fucking catches you off guard, not all the horse shit beforehand? And then I realized, okay, I was going a little hard. Maybe that was just her brain coming to the fact of, like, I have to just become accustomed to the horse shit, and that's the one thing that pushed me over the edge.
Yeah.
For me, it's the fact that Giovanni fucking Ribisi is in, I guess, HQ or what the fuck ever, and the robots are suddenly there as well.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop too, because, like, you know, they go have that whole dogfight in top of New York and all that stuff, and Goop gets on Sky Captain's plane, they're heading back to HQ. I'm just like, they just fucking led them back there. Like, they're hot on their tail this entire time.
And poor Giovanni gets mugged by, like, tentacle robots. He's got the fucking ray gun, and he's like, wah, 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 and fucking smokes one.
And these robots are so fucking... They're actually kind of weird. They're a little bit of nightmare fuel. I was like, God damn, they got, like, noodle arms and shit. They kind of look like a cross between the ones from War of the Worlds and the dude from The Day the Earth Stood Still or something like that. I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. But then he just takes his fucking dollar store zappy gun. He's like, wow, wow, and he just falls over dead. I'm like, there is nothing else in this movie that's going to be a hint of a challenge, is it?
No. And this is what was blowing my mind. Number one, if these were sent by said Nazi Germany, bro, the war is over. We lost. What? Like, they have fucking lasers, and all we have is a dude in eye makeup flying a plane going, Polly Perkins, give me some pussy.
I mean, I guess so, because, like, okay, so, you know, they snatched Giovanni, he's gone in 60 seconds. And then the fucking Sky Captain and the Goop Lady, they're a little too late, and they're like, oh, shit, they yoinked them. But they're still kind of, like, floating around. Fucking Sky Captain banks a triple on them, and they fucking get the shit out of there. They're like, oh, dude, 3 at once? Too much. Later, dude. Peace.
But not before he found the blueprint that Giovanni had hidden with his bubblegum as he was being... Okay, why in the fuck did they capture him?
I don't know. I honestly don't, because we run into him again later in the movie, and he's just like, yeah, we're on our way back anyways. He came for no reason, kind of.
Yeah, he's just, like, not in captivity or anything. He's just, like, hanging out up there.
He's just running things. He's secretly the bad guy. That would have been, what a twist.
I thought that was the thing it was kind of headed towards, about, like, 2/3 through. I was just like, wait a minute, we haven't heard anything from this guy. And it just kind of seems weird that, like, Knives Chow didn't do anything to him.
I actually had a similar little, like, headcanon going on. I thought there was going to be a twist like that because, honestly, okay, we haven't mentioned this sort of ninja thing that just comes in and out on occasion.
Oh, you talking about sexy Asian lady?
Yeah.
I just kept calling her Knives Chow.
So, honestly, like, I knew that Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Angelina Jolie were in this. I just assumed that this was Angelina Jolie the first couple of times they popped on the screen. So I have them down as Ninjalina Jolie.
Oh, man. Now I feel bad for the movie robbing you that awesome pun.
I know, right? Well, I got it anyway. But, yeah, once we actually met Frankie, Angelina's character, a little bit later, I was like, is this like some kind of a twist? Is this what's going on? And then it turns out those are not the same character at all.
For real. Now, in the meantime, they're discussing Unit 11. He's like, look at my unit, Mrs. Babysitter. And
there it is.
Like, what? Zip it and whip it quick draw style. And we get like a little moment of Carmen Sandiego noir, where for whatever reason, they're suddenly in trench coats and lurking around inside Frankenstein's lab.
Laboratory!
It was a weird tone change, too, because you go from like, okay, it's like an action 30 serial, whatever, and it's just like, oh, that's a butt.
I actually have written down what I would describe as the genre of this film, if you're interested. Thank you, Alex. This is a neo-noir, retro-futuristic, science fiction, aquapunk, action-adventure fantasy.
And somehow that's shorter than the fucking title.
Damn.
But yeah, we get a lot of elements of that neo-noir kind of thing. It's all very retro-futuristic. You've got like this perpetual homage to like the Buck Rogers Lost in Space, Flash Gordon sort of like serial science fiction kind of vibe. And man, it's not only that. Like, it would have been enough if it was just that, but man, it's so much more.
But think about that. This is like based on the 1930s World's Fair. God bless them for thinking we were going to be somewhere.
God bless them, absolutely. Because, like, you know, it's in the title, The World of Tomorrow. And I guess there's some, like, hope there, but, like, eh.
And, you know, they're in the fucking lab, and what do they find? It's a monkey with 3 butts. And what's in this one? A monkey with 4. What's in that one? A monkey with 5? 5 butts. No, it can't be done. Inside that is little Trunky, the mini elephant.
It's got a tiny little elephant in there.
That actually kind of pleased me, because, like, everything else was just, like, a fucking abomination. It's like, oh, tiny little nose, tiny little feet. I ask you.
What you doing in there, tree trunks? You about to make me a pie.
Oh, see, even better. It almost makes you mad that the scene's interrupted by a knife child just, like, lurking in the shadows somewhere.
Yeah, and she, for some reason... Alright, so that's where Dr. Jennings is. Dr. Jennings ends up getting killed right here, and she drops the bag that I guess she was trying to take from him, and that's how they know that this is where the important information is.
But unfortunately, this is also a window into just kind of how bad the acting is. I don't know if it's on purpose or not. Like, I know they had to watch a bunch of other movies, kind of study old stuff, but this person burst in, killed this important person, and tried to escape. Sky Captain is the hero. She jumps out of a window, and he's just like, all right, I guess she's gone. Dude, she's still walking down the street, you know, getting away. Just go get her.
He's over it.
I did take a note of that. Like, across the board, the acting is bad. Just, like, bad in the same way across the board. So, like you said, I don't know that that was on purpose or if it was intentional, or maybe they just all were smoking the same weed that week, but it's very, very flat.
What do they call this one? Sky Captain.
Fucking bro, you know what we should do? We gotta get him in some old ass plane, and then you gotta get these fucking sky mantas that can hover and shit, but he's totally better than them.
Oh, I believe that one, because they bought the plane stoned to shit. They're stuck with it, and it's like, what do we do? I got a green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more quick little thing about the doctor's death. As he is dying, in his last breath, he gives Gwyneth Paltrow these 2 little vials that are, you know, just going to keep driving the movie, of course, and she's just going to pocket them without saying a damn word.
They never tell you what's in it till, like, the very, very end, but I had my theory immediately that it was plutonium, and they all got cancer immediately.
Yes. It's fucking 2 little CO2 cartridges for a paintball gun is what it is.
Oh, they go this entire adventure, and then, like, the bad guy is like, oh, you got my canisters.
Ow, that's smart. I have to bring up, how is there even a fucking struggle in this war? There are sky mantas that can hover, that can literally stop, move vertically, horizontally, and he has to stay moving. Not only does he have to stay moving, he has to stay moving while Gwyneth Paltrow sits in the back and bitches into his ear with incorrect directions.
Absolutely. Every scene when she's just backseat flying is basically just like that couple who's been married a little too long. Guy's not even watching where he's going, just head over his shoulder, just like, shut the fuck up, Carol.
Carol. Can we also discuss the fact that physics only work for the enemies? Because he's in his plane, and he's wounded. His plane is now smoking. He's been shot in the wing. How does he get away? He dives from about 600 feet into a 100% swan dive and hits the ocean, barreling at least 200 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
This impact alone would turn them into, like, Chex Party Mix. They would be dead immediately.
Yeah, we turned into goop. Absolutely. And the thing is, like, when it happened the first time, I was just like, what?
Despite being shot many times by flying laser... What are these things called? What are they calling these things?
Air mantas?
Sky mantas? This cabin's still airtight.
It's okay. It's a submarine. Technology. This is the world of tomorrow.
Yep.
God bless him.
Yeah, it's just basically like, hey, we have the scene. How do we end it? Bloop. All right, now let's globetrot.
Dude, yes. Jump to Shangri-La. It's literally just that. They're like, plow in the water. Huh, you thought that was cool? Watch this. Hard cut.
Yes.
And it's in fucking Nepal.
Which looks exactly like a fucking Tomb Raider level.
100%. But this is my favorite part of the movie, if there ever was one, because we get to meet a fella from The Mummy that I haven't seen in forever.
Yeah, he's nasty.
Yeah, I love him to death because my friend, Sky Captain, let's go to Hamunaptra. I was just like, yes, let's go.
I just have this guy down as Buddy.
Buddy.
Just Buddy.
I'm cool with that.
Ally 1.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they are going inside of a giant contaminated ice hole.
I love the fact that he's just like, hey, I brought you something, and it's a case of Vienna sausages.
That's whatever tickles his fancy. That's pretty much currency over there, I hear.
But there's a lot of unbelievable shit in here in this whole movie, so I'm not going to focus on too much the fact that this World War I era fighter plane just flew from New York City to Nepal.
Yeah. And it only cost him like maybe half a tank of gas.
Yeah, like in 1938, I can't imagine how long this would have taken. This would have taken weeks.
No, the movie's like, no, gotta take it worldwide.
And speaking of worldwide, I got something a little bit special here today. I've got from Dogfish Head their Utopias barrel-aged worldwide stout. All right, so this is a 17.2% alcohol by volume stout. I've had their original worldwide stout before, and it's a great one. Haven't had any of their barrel-aged worldwide stouts yet, so let's see how this one is. Super boozy on the nose. Smells like bourbon. Whew! That boy's potent. Ooh.
You wooing over there sounds like Sam Rockwell trying to re-enter the atmosphere.
Yeah. This packs a little bit more of a punch than what I remember the original worldwide stout really having. This is bigger than you expect it to be, not as smooth as I expected it to be. Usually these big, ultra imperial stouts have like a bit of smoothness to them. This one doesn't quite yet. And this is from, I want to say, the 2021 batch, so maybe not quite a year old. With a little bit more age, this could round down a little bit, but as of right now, it's still a little bit on the hot side. It's full of character, though. There's a lot of rich, fruity notes, like you've got cherry and like persimmon, blackcurrant, things like that. But you've also got like a big hit of like woody notes from that barrel. There's a lot going on here. I can't say I don't recommend it, but man, this is an experience.
You're telling me worldwide stout, it'll get you drunk.
It's the kind of beer where you drink today and forget tomorrow.
Guess what? She is now being held hostage by these. I know that the proper term is not Sherpa, but they're Sherpas. And they seem to be at like this alien derelict vibe area. It's kind of cool to see. There's a giant drill in the background.
My favorite part of this whole thing is Jude Law is like, hey, we have to go here. And his buddy's like, oh, that's Shambhala. We can't go there. No one can go there. Jude Law's like, yeah, but we can go there, right? And he's like, yeah, I guess. Okay.
And then they just do.
Yeah. There's just like no qualms about it at all after that point.
Well, the fact that they go to this ice cave and it's full of radiation. It's irradiated the shit and back. And they're like, huh, that's real bad. We should go. And then they just find all this fucking dynamite everywhere. And it's just increasingly more dangerous to be around. And they're just like, yes, adventure.
See, yeah, this all through here is the part of the movie that really like got me to where I'm in for the whole thing, because this is basically Indiana Jones, Uncharted, Tomb Raider. This is all of that, all of the things that I like.
Now, this is all just 100% National Treasure too.
Oh,
oh, this is the Book of Secrets. Damn.
Yeah, the Chamber Pot of Secrets.
Oh,
I was gonna bring up the fact that I really hated Gwyneth Paltrow in this whole movie, this part in particular, but then I realized, holy shit, this is just Temple of Doom. This is just Willy. She's Willy, and I fucking hate it, because like she gets captured by Sherpa Man, and Sky Captain just like, don't do it. And I guess, I don't know, she's got a camera. We'll need that for a joke later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. One joke that's actually like a thing at all. But we're going to keep referencing it ahead of time. Just don't worry about it. But no, you mentioned Willie. I get a little bit of Marion vibes from Gwyneth. And I love Marion Ravenwood's character. And I don't particularly like Gwyneth Paltrow, just like as an actress or a person. But so that's a compliment there. That's a compliment.
I guess so, but she never emotes any kind of like notion that she's ever in danger. Like she's at knife point, like around her neck, and Jude Law's trying to like finagle this whole Tibetan standoff thing going on, and she's like, "Oh, whatever, boopity boop." All of a sudden, dynamite's going off. I don't know. It just this whole thing just felt like it was needless because they go through this whole thing. It's like, "Oh, we got to go to Shangri-La, Shibalba," and the place gets ignited, goes to shit. They all get knocked out and just like wind up in Shangri-La.
Mm-hmm. One line that I do have to give credit to through this scene is when they're hiding behind the dynamite while they're waiting on the dynamite to explode, as you do. They're having a little argument there, like Indiana Jones does with every one of his ladies. And he's just like, stop, can we just for once die without all this bickering?
Yeah.
That is good. And I did like when the mummy guy walks in, he opens the door for him reluctantly. He's like, "Hey, do you want to go to Hamanaptra? You dropped your dynamite." They're just like, "Get out of here."
He pops the door open. He's like, "Look, I have pizza and hummus. Would you like some?"
Why'd you guys lock the door? It's a party.
Oh, he's just rubbing the fucking hummus on his chest.
Dude, speaking of party, and just like, well, not the rub it on the chest, but like when they wake up at Shangri-La or whatever, they're in this bed and they're all naked. And you see Jude Law and Gwyneth Paltrow just like next to each other, kind of covered in like rose petals. I was like, did she get knocked out and he take full advantage of the situation?
That's what it sounded like to me. Just like from the full get, I was like, he's smiling way too much.
Yeah, and to the missus, I was just like, no, the movie wouldn't be that dark. Like, what this movie really needs is like it to cut over to like mummy guy in the bed too. And I fucking shit you not, it pans to the left and he's there, Persian rug and all.
He's just got like the donut that he's taking a bite of and the crumbs are falling on his chest, and he kind of reaches it over to Jude Law and is like,
Yeah, he's like, croissant.
Croissant. But now some fucking wizard guy shows up and he's like, "You shall not pass," and they say the magic word, which is Totenkoffen, and they go, "Oh, well, you can pass, bro."
I totally thought he was going to turn around and speak perfect English.
Yeah, like he's like, "No, you guys have to go. You have to get off the mountain by sundown." Yeah, but we trying to find Totenkopf. Why? Because we're trying to kill him. Dope. I'm in.
Dope. Hell yeah, brother.
It reminded me of the scene in Crocodile Dundee whenever they meet the Aborigines, and she's like, "Oh my God, he's so scary. Is that bat good?" And he goes, "Nah, needs garlic." It's just like normal dude.
Yeah, he's just a regular fella.
But to your Gandalf reference a second ago, they do walk right out into basically Rivendell.
Dude.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. And it's gorgeous. It's like this, well, gorgeous implied. But like they wake up and they're strolling around and there's just zero reaction to being the first outside people into this fantastic place. They're just like, all right, now where's that Nazi fuck?
You say gorgeous, and you're exactly right. It is gorgeous, but it's beautiful like a Thomas Kincaid painting, not like anything that you would see in real life. It's blurry and like it's like did you guys see What Dreams May Come?
Yeah, Robin Williams.
Yeah, it's like that kind of vibe. It's weird.
That's why I said it was implied, because it's just like unfortunately stuck under that Vaseline filter back there while Goop and Sky Captain are just like, yeah, see, we've got to go find that guy, see?
Goop, sponsor us.
And Gandalf is like, "Take my staff, and in 2 days look to the north. Kalima!"
Kalima! Can we talk about that for a minute? Because they do see that guy, and he does give him like their next direction to go off in, and I guess he's sick or irradiated or something. He's pretty fucked up.
Colonel Kurtz from Apocalypse Now, but with leprosy.
Yeah. So the I guess the Tibetan Fu Manchu who just reluctantly said like, "Hey, yeah, go talk to this guy. We brought you in. We nursed you back to health. Go ahead and get your information and go." They go see this fella, and he's worse off. He gives them what they want in exchange for them killing him, so he has to no longer suffer. But I feel this is an amendment that was never discussed with the guy that let them in the place to begin with. So that guy came back, saw the dude with a knife plunged into him, and everybody else just fucked off.
I mean, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? You'll do fucking nothing.
Well, I heard the fucking and I was assuming, but I didn't quite get there.
Assuming.
Meanwhile, back in the cockpit, fucking Gwyneth Paltrow is almost kissing Jude Law on the cheekbone for no apparent reason, and the gas gauge is about to be out, and he needs to go meet up with his good old buddy, Frankie Cook, because Frankie Cook never lets you down.
You say kissing up on him for no apparent reason. He is quoting Titanic, and she wants him to draw her like one of his French girls.
Did he say near, far, wherever you are?
I don't know. He said some shit. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, I know this is a quote from Titanic. I recognize it.
I didn't get that. He was trying to figure out the math, how far he could go with his gas, and she's just over there like licking his ear, just like, hell yeah.
Dude, because the truth was, there's an X on the map where they need to get. Mm-hmm. He draws a line and puts an X, and she's like, what's that? That's where we're going to run out of gas. In reality, that's where he's going to dump her body so he can continue on to the destination.
He's just like the whole movie, he's got his little itchy finger on the ejector seat.
Yes, just looking at it. That would be so fucking good if she was just always back there talking and it just always showed him glancing down at the button and just kind of sweating like.
That actually comes to a head because, like, I guess she thought the name Frankie, I was just another fella that he's going to run to, another guy from the Mummy, maybe. Mm-hmm. And they land on this fucking helicarrier. Fuck. Embarrassing.
This straight up reminds me of something out of like a video game.
It was the Avengers. I said it out loud. I was like, this is the Avengers. 100%.
I haven't seen any of the Avengers movies, but this reminded me of like, I don't know, something that absolutely does not actually exist because this ain't real.
What gave it away, Chandler? Was it the giant robots from Shangri-La?
Yeah, which part where you're just like, this is not reality.
Well, you're talking about like an aircraft carrier that is sitting
in the air.
Not even just an aircraft carrier. This is a full-on base that is just perched like 30,000 feet in the air, like above the clouds.
4 tiny propellers.
Yeah.
Yeah. They land, and Sky Captain pops out real quick when he sees Angelina Jolie, and she's like, "Hey, pip pip, cheerio, remember me?"
He's like, "Yeah, I know how you lost that eye."
Oh my god.
A little bit of Mayo Clinic.
Oh.
But I like when she meets Gwyneth Paltrow's character, she says, "It's a pleasure to finally meet the competition." So she's putting it out there. It's like, all right, like, you know, this is what this is.
It would be super hilarious if like Gwyneth was basically just like, "Are you guys fucking?" And it just cuts to them just like actually fucking. He's like, "Nah, I don't know."
I don't know.
No. And it's just like super raunchy. Like he's fucking the third hole in her eye.
Oh,
no. Fuck, he's got the eye patch on.
Oh, yes. He's wearing it. Oh.
And then he just has it on for the rest of the movie.
She says, "Oh, finally nice to meet the competition." Much like the war that is going on against World War I-esque fighter pilots and literal fucking 100-foot tall automatons, there is no real competition here. Angelina Jolie wins hands fucking down.
That actually comes to pass as well in a little bit because they land. Is like, "Oh, I need all this help," and Angelina Jolie's like, "No, I can't help you." He's like, "Oh, but they got my buddy Gex down there," and they're like, "Oh, I guess I'll just go ahead and endanger my entire staff. Let's go."
Right.
He must be fucking packing.
That's why he's the captain now.
You say there's no competition, but what's she gonna do with no depth perception?
He goes for a hug and she just like fucking keels over one of the banisters and just falls.
Yes, just off the fucking helicarrier.
Yeah, just like, "What, Mr. Magoo?"
Yeah, so you might as well just keep a backup, you know.
An extra goop.
Yep. So
okay, look. Fucking Angelina Jolie has, what would you say, in all honesty, about 5 minutes total screen time in this film?
Probably. You can maybe round it up to 10. Because, like, you know, when they're on the carrier together, like, you know, she's basically in every scene. And when they inevitably dive into the ocean trying to, like, evade the island's defenses or whatever, I feel like she was supposed to be in the movie more, and she was like, and she, like, ejected out of the plane and the movie at the same time.
Dude. I'm just saying, She's in this thing for 5-10 minutes, and I liked her character more than anyone else's.
You know why? Because when she's on screen, there's intrigue. Like, oh, why is she that way? Ooh, what's the story between him and Sky Captain? Why does she have that fake British accent?
She is just Molotov cocktease.
What a name. All right.
Absolutely.
Did you guys notice that every scene that she is in, regardless of like how much trouble is going on, like the invasion, everything, she's always smiling, like full teeth smile?
She's just happy to be alive. I mean, especially after what happened to her eyeball.
I guess.
For real. I mean, think about this. When you live on a helicarrier, yet you command an entire fleet of the Aquanauts, what the fuck is going on?
I don't even know why they were there, to be honest. Because they were just like, so happened to be just off the island, fucking around, I guess. I don't know.
So, we're talking about this island. Okay, I know we just came from Nepal. Where is this geographically?
Somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. That's all I can tell you. Because when they lay down the map and they showed down the overlay where like the island was just freshly discovered, that's just what it says. Like a big open fucking map, nothing on it, overlay, island, Pacific Ocean.
The overlay adds an island and an S, and it becomes Pacific Ocean.
Specific. Well, at this specific location they have to go to, they don't really explain why they can't go to the island just like aerially. They're just like, oh, we can't do it. What a bummer. Got to go underneath.
Got to go in through the poop chute.
Yes, absolutely. So like they have their gang of fucking airplane submarines. They bloop down into the ocean. There's all these like little references to like, you know, mythology. And I think the Titanic was there, I guess. I don't know. And what doesn't make any sense, among other things, is that like this is the safest way to go. And they run into like 14 Guardians from Legend of Zelda. And like everybody has to fucking scatter.
Are we talking about the giant crab mechs with light up Freddy Krueger radiator grills?
Yeah.
Yeah, during all of this, I was just perpetually shrugging. I was just like, yeah, this seems about right.
Quick, aim for the heat lamp. I'm like, what?
Angelina Jolie saves the day here by guiding a bunch of missiles back into the crab mech looking thing. And then shoots from the bottom of the ocean to the helicarrier. And I went, okay, I get it that anything can happen, but the bins.
Well, you know what? She just landed on the carrier and she's like, you know, bins there, done that. Doesn't matter.
Like, I don't know anything about the Rocketeer, but this gave me Rocketeer vibes.
No, Rocketeer's good.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
100%.
I think I have headcanon. So we were making jokes about the missing eye. She's done this stunt once before.
Oh,
and that's how she lost the eye, was explosive decompression.
Well, I thought they were actually going to go with the whole suicide angle, because even Goop was like, oh, she's going to suicide herself. I was like, don't. This movie's not that movie. And then she doesn't, and it's worse. I was like, she should have killed herself. Just whatever. They're on the island. That's all that matters. They got there.
Yeah.
Real. Basically, Angelina saves them, shoots out like a grate in a warp tunnel, and then suddenly they're in Jurassic Park.
100%. They cruise out of the water. You got the bird from Up, Kevin. He's like, over this way. And there's all these like fucking dragons everywhere.
There's dragons, just fucking dragons.
Dragons. Okay. And like nobody gives a shit. And it bugged the fuck out of me. I'm like, you just arrived in the land of the lost, woman. Look up.
There's a fucking dragon, and he takes his 1911 and shoots at it. Boom! And then the dragon swoops, and he dives. The 1911 has somehow now turned into, like, a fucking revolver? I don't even know what just happened, but it's literally a revolver falling off instead of a 1911.
I think it was always a revolver, because he was getting handy with it earlier in the movie when he first ran into Goop again, and that's all he did was just, like, pointing at her chest the whole time.
I don't know anything about guns, but I had 22 revolver written down.
It hits the bird and it's like, huh?
But yeah, so he drops it like a bitch. And during all this, Gwyneth Paltrow accidentally takes a picture of the ground. So she's only got one picture left on her camera. All this shit's going around. She's got one photo left, and she is pissed.
Okay, so this was the moment that the movie turned around for me in my head, because both I and the missus were like, I don't fucking care. I don't give a single shit about whatever she wants. And then Jude Law starts busting out laughing because he doesn't give a shit either. I'm like, we're just a team right now. Let's just all not give a shit together. And the rest of the movie was just cake for me.
Yeah, he definitely starts having a lot more fun because he starts like, I know I'm jumping ahead a bit, but he starts fist fighting robots and throwing things and just goofing off. And you could just see that he went, yeah, whatever, man.
Like, this movie is a full-on, like, series of homages, which we've mentioned a little bit. Like, at the beginning, like, the sort of blurry, you know, focus and everything, that seemed very Casablanca to me. We've got a whole bunch of, like, the old sci-fi stuff. Well, during this, like, he comes out of that tunnel that they go through. He looks straight up like 100% like Brendan Fraser in The Mummy. Is that just me?
It very well could be, because they wander on to the set of a Bond villain, and there's a giant fucking rocket ship. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, not only is it a giant, like, super futuristic rocket ship, but we find out that this is actually going to be a space-age Noah's Ark because he's loading 2 of every animal on here.
Yes.
This is fucking weird, guys.
And I shit you not, this is what happens beat for beat. The movie's like, wait a minute, we can't be 2 hours long. By the way, Giovanni was escaping all along. He scooped up what he could of the surviving scientists, and that rocket's going to launch, and once it enters the atmosphere, it's going to burn up the whole Earth. Okay, bye.
Have you guys seen Chappelle's Show? The one where he's like having sex and his girlfriend takes out the little clock and hits it and it says wrap it up.
Yeah.
Like, that's what happened. The movie gets to this point and he hits the clock. It says wrap it up, because get ready, because it's about to be rapid fire fucking nonsense for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, being as worthless as she is, Goop is just like walking around and she taps a rock and it just like rolls down the hill and it makes a noise. And I'm just like, she just alerted the whole base. There's no fucking way that's not going to happen. And the robots are like, wait! I was like, God.
From that moment, the jig is officially up.
Jude Law spins around right at that moment, looks her right in the eyes and says, "You ghosting us, motherfucker. You give away the position one more time, I'm going to bleed you real quiet. Leave you here. Got that?"
Yeah, but luckily, your boy Giovanni Ribisi shows up immediately, like you said, in like a tugboat?
A non-explained hover tugboat. Yes.
Again, just fucking sure.
Mind you, to those listening, I gave up 35 minutes ago.
Yeah, I've given up at this point, long given up. But that doesn't mean I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing. Like, I am resigned to whatever this movie is going to take me through. This isn't like I don't like this, I've given up. This is I'm just here for the ride. This is Willy Wonka's Magical Cruise.
Dude, and you have to, because like, as soon as that happens, they all hop on the hover tug and they start to bolt out of there towards Mr. House from New Vegas. And like, all these robots are chasing them. They're like, we're going to get him. Fucking Sky Captain just like whips a rocket, a button that nobody sees but him. Doors shut, and they all come up to the gate and they're like, "Oh man, come on, come back. Come back over here. We just want to kill you and stuff."
Dude, the fact that he was like swinging on a couple of the bots before that.
Yes!
This was the quality of that fucking TV show when we were kids, Chandler. Do you remember it whenever they had to go and play the arcade game that was on the blue screen?
Oh, you talking about Nick Arcade? Fucking Mongo?
Yeah. It would be a video game and they had to like mime it out in person. That's exactly what this looked like, because he's just swinging at nothing. He's connecting with nothing, and it's just flying everywhere.
Well, on that note, that's why way earlier I said that none of these robots were any good, because a guy punches out a robot. He just does.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, fuck. Okay, so they go down that super long hallway or whatever. They try to find the main bad guy who's been conjuring this whole situation. Them and the scientists walk up to like the door. Like, behind this door is the guy that we've been talking about, from whatever his name is, and some fucking lowly scientist guy's like, "Oh, it's just a door. We can walk up to it." Not before Sky Captain literally tackles a robot to the fucking ground.
He's like, "Nice bolts, Blank El Nino. Too bad your ass got sacked."
G.I. Joe.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Can we discuss this? The whole point of this scene is they ripped off one of my favorite fucking movies, The Never-Ending Story.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, that's not where I thought this was going. Because this ripped off Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade to me.
Oh, yeah, with like trying the gauntlets.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy didn't deserve it. I know I said it in a ton of other movies, but that dude didn't deserve it. He's just like, oh, it's just a door. And he gets turned to a fucking skeleton. I was like, is that why they kept the scientists around just so they can make it down this fucking hallway? So every door they get to, they just waste another one?
The scientists were the guinea pigs all along.
Ooh.
They got to keep Werner von Braun safe, though. He's one of the main guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Doc Brown over there.
So next thing that happens, Zordon from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers shows up.
Yes!
100%, yeah. Just some fucking hologram shows up and be like, this is my evil plan. And they just fucking turn him off.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of this is. He just shuts up and then they walk through the door.
Yeah. And they go into his like main chamber, like it's, like a library. And they have that, classic turn seat. Like, oh, he's sitting in that chair. All he has to do is turn around. Da-na! Oh, he's been dead for 20 years. Twist.
Oh, yeah, he did. He real dead.
Dude, his note was the best. It just said, my bad.
I to the missus, like just before they unraveled it, I was like, I really hope that fucking piece of papyrus says go fuck yourself.
So yeah, basically what's happened is he programmed all these like robots or whatever to do this, and he died, and then they just kept going.
Yeah, like it's another exposition dump where they have to fucking just like open the floodgates in order for the rest of the movie to work. He took his brain, his consciousness, put it in the rocket. He took his wife's consciousness, put it in an everlasting robot. He made all these automaton robots so he can facilitate putting all the animals on the rocket. This whole fucking thing makes no goddamn sense.
By the way, did they ever explicitly say where this rocket was going?
Space.
I guess.
The way they wrap this up is they're on the rocket. He's going to be a hero. And he's like, Polly, bam, slaps her in the fucking mouth. Go sleep. And he tries to sneak aboard the rocket. And the only way to disable it, I guess, is by killing the robot that's there, because that's all you have to do through this entire movie is kill robots. And so he kills the robot, the rocket explodes, and pods go everywhere, and they rain down, and Polly's there, and we get the big payoff. She gets her final one photo left. It's this, here we go, I'm going to take a picture of my man. And he goes, look here, Perry the Platypus, you left the lens cap on. And that's supposed to be the ultimate payoff for this running gag of, oh, I only have X amount of shots left. And I just didn't care.
No,
not at all. Like, I laughed not because it was funny, but by that point my brain was fucking fried, so.
Yeah, they make it so, like, cutesy, too. By the way, after he straight up knocks her the fuck out, and she comes back to save him, they make this, like, into a cutesy little final scene. He's like, Polly, oh, you don't have to say anything. Lens cap.
Credits.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But I don't want to scoot through that last portion where they, do the emergency release and, allow all of the animals to drop down alongside of the island. I don't want to get through that without saying Operation Dumbo Drop.
I mean, like, this movie is like one big issue. It's so weird. Like, I see the ambitions and I respect it. Like, I respect the filmmaking, to be honest. 'Cause, like, after reading about it, goddamn, this dude, if you're out there, my man, props. You did what you could. You got fucked over pretty hard. But this movie is fucking 15 years too early. There is no reason for this to come out in 2004. This thing is way too ambitious. It doesn't land. It does have all these great ideas that are unfortunately not up to snuff. There's a part of me that wants to actually like it for its content and not for its ambitions, but like, I don't know, by the end of it, I was exhausted. I don't know if I can recommend it. I mean, give it a shot, because it is a cult classic. People love the shit, but like, maybe I have to watch it again in about a year or two. But like, right now, I just need a fucking nap.
I agree with almost everything that you said. This is an ultra ambitious passion project, and I have nothing but props for the guy that put this thing together. And this is really sort of ahead of its time, but without all the pieces that it would need to be a truly landmark project. Nonetheless, I was enjoying myself through almost the entire time, like picking out all the homages, and this is full of them. This movie is at best a 6 out of 10. Like, I'm not saying anything more than that. It's at best a 6 out of 10, but it's a 6 out of 10 that I had a really good time watching the whole time.
This was a movie. It was in theaters, and I saw it there. I then watched it again at my house and fondly recollected fingering my wife at the theater instead of paying attention to this film. There you have it.
All right. Well, fuck, there you have it. That was Sky Captain and that time Brady fingered his wife. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in the comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Be sure to hit that little bell icon too, so you know what we've got brewing up in the world of tomorrow.
Ooh.
Get out there and follow us on social media. We got it all, man. We're actually anywhere that you could find a podcast. We're there, bro. Check us the fuck out. If not, we'll come over there and we'll get a little ray gun and we'll be out firing our lasers.